not only is she coming to us about bad things that he would say or do that she doesn't like, but she's going back to him and telling him how much we don't like him. What's up, my Melaholics? Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, you should literally stay and become a Melaholic. Like, it's really that easy. All you gotta do is press that subscribe button and you really part of the family for real. Like, girl, what are you doing? Come on. But is that really a way I should reintroduce myself after being gone for so long? I don't think so. Hold on, let me just.
I'ma need a goose or a cleasy. Wait, it's big boy season, so she need me. Mixing with the bamba, mixing with the bamba, Mickey. And I'm a big boy, she keep on rubbing on my belly. I ain't got a house, but we can grab it.
Anyway, I'm too full of myself. Anyway, y'all, as y'all can see the title of this video, I'm going to be telling the story time of how my three-year friendship ended with my ex-best friend. This is honestly a really long story, but I'm cutting it down for you guys because I know y'all ain't gonna sit here and watch two 1 hour long parts of the story. I'm sure I'm still gonna have to split it up into 2 parts just because there's not too much I can cut out without confusing you guys or leaving out details that will make you guys understand what led up to like the next events that happened, you know, if that makes sense. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna just go ahead and jump straight into the video so I can give you guys as much as I can within a shorter span of like time. But yeah, before I get into that though, make sure you guys seriously like, comment, subscribe, and share. Get your girl out there. Like, I'm trying to get back out there. I'm so sorry that I was gone for so long. I know, but we back, okay? So going into this story, I'm gonna go ahead and give her a name so we can get that out the way. I'm naming her Troll. Not a jab at her looks or anything like that. She don't even look bad, but just as like, I really felt like I was played. Like, I really felt like I was being played this whole entire time. Like, I don't feel like the whole friendship was entirely genuine, and I really feel like I was just trolled in real life. Like, didn't y'all ever feel like that? So that's why we're naming her that. And I'm gonna give other names as we go into the story. But just a little background, me and Cho, we went to high school together. We never talked, we never had any encounters with each other until our first graduation practice. You know, that's the end of our senior year, the very end of our senior year. So that's the first time we ever had conversation. Then after that, we went to college together. And we both had a mutual friend. She ended up introducing us to my current best friend, who was also her roommate at the time. And, you know, that mutual friend, she was kind of like the social butterfly of the group. So she really got us together for, like, without that mutual friend, me and my bestie wouldn't be friends to this day. And we would have never been friends with her. So to that mutual friend, I do want to thank you for my current bestie, because she really a ride or die. She my day one. Okay, that girl right there, don't play about her. And didn't play about my ex-best friend either. I don't play about none of my friends or my family. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. One thing about me is I take my friendships and my relationships with my family very serious. All it takes is one call. Who did what to you? What happened? Oh, okay. So that's just, okay, I'm putting that out there because that is important to the story. But yeah, we got closer in college. At first, it was my best friend and Tro that got a little closer in the beginning because they lived on campus together and I was still living at my parents' house off campus. So they were able to go to events with each other, hang out with each other outside of school hours, all of that stuff. So they had that chance to become closer with each other. It just took me a bit more time to be a little bit closer in the group than it did for them. So I did end up getting closer to the both of them before I moved out, but of course we got even closer after I moved out of my parents' house and I got my own place with my ex-roommates. And y'all will be getting that story time too, because it was a show. Okay, so I'ma just go ahead and jump straight forward into like where everything started going downhill, because everything in between doesn't really matter, other than the fact that even though she was in a relationship at that time, we still managed to hang out. We still managed to go and do things together. Okay? It was never a problem. It was never a problem with us wanting to see her. It was never a problem with us going over to her dorm or her coming over to my bestie's dorm. And yeah, so keep that in mind, please. But jumping into the situation that made everything go downhill. She met her next boo thing after she broke up with the first one. And we're going to name him Scary. I'm naming him Scary because, well, I have a bit of a stronger word for him, but I'm not going to say that on here. But basically, he feels the need that he could be disrespectful and things like that to women. But then when it comes to a man confronting him, then he's, like in a little shell or a little more respectful. And to me, that's, okay. Okay. But we're going to call him Scary for the sake of this story. So, Troll and Scary met, and she met that man off the internet. Listen, I ain't even going to bash her for that. I'm not going to bash anyone else who met their significant other off anywhere on the net, whether it's social media, anywhere. I don't care, because I met mine off of socials. So, but mine just ended up being really good. Like, finna be 3 years and strong. Hello. But some work out, some don't, and this is one that didn't, like, at all. Like this this one it did not end well, like, at all. So basically, at first, we didn't really catch too many red flags, but he did have some minor red flags about him. And then as more time went on, they had ended up making it official. She did not tell us that. And not to say that we felt entitled to know every single last detail of her life down to the T, but when you're best friends, you would expect something like that. Information like that to be spilt. Tea to be spilt. The tea was not spilt. The tea was still in the cup, sitting on the table, just sitting there. So I'm just like, girl, you ain't tell us nothing. But okay, that's cool. And yeah, after they got together, that's when things started to slowly just go downhill. So I would say the very first thing that sparked everything off, we figured out that this man is homophobic. And we just know this because of some conversations that were had between him, Troll, and my bestie. And my best friend, she would come to me and tell me like, oh, like he said this or he said that. Just little things that would insinuate that he is not in alliance with the alphabet community. Like, sir? His homophobia got louder on this specific day because Troll was over at my best friend's dorm. At this point in time, we were in our sophomore year of college, and they lived next door, right next door in their dorms. So Troll was over at my best friend's dorm, and they were chilling. I can't remember if they were like trying to study or just regularly hanging out. And he had ended up coming to the door and knocking on it. My best friend is under a blanket. Her outfit for the day, she had on a tube top, and it was cold in her dorm, so she had a blanket over her. And I believe, no, they weren't sharing it. She just had the blanket on her. But even if they were, that shouldn't even been a problem. But my best friend got up to go open the door for him, and Cho was like, no, I'm gonna open the door for him. I'm gonna open the door for him. She's like, okay. So as Troll is opening the door for Scary, my best friend is already sitting back down from when she had got up to initially open it and readjusting the blanket on her. He took it the complete wrong way. Like, he started tweaking because he thought that they were doing things with each other inside of her dorm, which was not the case. So I don't know, to him, it was explained to me that to him, it seemed like my best friend was shirtless when she, in fact, was not. She had on a tube top. And nothing was going on, but he was just so adamant about something going on between them. So he just started losing his shit, going and saying, "You're just loud and wrong, sir. Like, you look stupid." But hey, so that was that. My best friend was really off put by it. Like, she didn't like that. She didn't like that he never apologized about it and all of that stuff. So that's it that's it after that. Now, moving on to the day after all of that. Not the day right after all of that, but on this day that I'm about to bring up, I was at work and there was literally a tornado outside. It was a tornado outside, literally tearing shit up. And everyone was freaking out. Service is bad. And we're just worried about basically trying to make sure that the customers and the employees as well were being safe. Because it wasn't just a watch. It wasn't just a tornado watch. It was a tornado was actually outside. So while we were sitting there trying to get some stuff together back in our stations and make sure everyone was in the back taking cover, I and my best friend ended up getting a text message from her number in the group chat that we all have between each other. And it wasn't her. It was Scary. And it was him basically calling himself confronting my best friend about an opinion that she had on him, as she should have, because he just wasn't a good significant other. Like, L-mans, like, trash, throwing tomatoes, boo, garbage, like, literally. And we both had that opinion. It was just that, again, because I'm off campus, my best friend and Troll spent more time on campus together, and they would have more conversations together while they're hanging out and stuff. Mind you, in order for us to have a negative opinion about him, she has to come to us about bad things that he's saying or doing that she doesn't like in order for us to form those opinions, right? So that's exactly what happened. Me and my best friend don't play about each other's feelings getting hurt. So of course, when we're hearing this stuff from her, we're like, girl, no, like, what? Hello? And yeah, so not only is she coming to us about bad things that he would say or do that she doesn't like, but she's going back to him and telling him how much we don't like him or how much we don't agree with the things that he's saying or doing in their relationship, right? So for some odd reason, that set him off enough to have the audacity to come in our group chat and start disrespecting initially my best friend. But y'all know I wasn't letting that slide. I don't care. I do not care. Yes, I inserted myself. But first of all, if you're just gonna confront her, you should have just did that one-on-one. That's first of all, because if you really think there's a group of friends and the other person is gonna allow you to disrespect their friend, you have another thing coming. Yes, I stepped up and yeah, I defended my best friend. I said something before she was even able to type something. I mean, I'm gonna put the receipts here because I have a lot of it. I lost some of it due to me deleting stuff and me getting new phones over the years, but I still have a lot of it. And I'm gonna put whatever I do have here. But yeah, I stepped up and basically I was just like, literally stop playing with us. Like, you're mad over an opinion that we have of you, same way you can have an opinion about us, because he didn't like us either. Like, to me, he don't really have valid reasons, or at the time, he didn't really have valid reasons not to like us, but I just guess he didn't because of whatever Tro was going back and telling him. And on top of that, we found out during this conversation too that she was telling the business. she was telling the business from us, from me and my best friend to him. Like, girl, there ain't none of your bum man's business. It's not. So, but we're not even gonna get into that. We only found that out because in the argument that we were having with him, he decided to bring up some stuff in our lives that he didn't even know what he was talking about for real. He really had his facts fucked up. So that meant she had her facts fucked up, or he just wasn't listening when she was telling the business. It's just like all over the place. But it's so crazy though, because in the end of it, you know, I was telling my best friend, stop going back and forth with this man. Like, it ain't even worth it. Let him talk to himself. Let him continue to look stupid. And by the end, like, we weren't even mad at her because I don't think it was clicking in our heads at the time. Like, hey, she has some part in this too, because, like, why is she going back and telling him stuff that really don't even have nothing to do with him for real? Or is really just unnecessary to tell him? We were just concerned because she was crying. Like, she didn't like that this was going on at the time. Basically, he kept having access to her phone. Like, he kept grabbing it and all of that stuff to text stuff to us, and our anger was just mainly directed to him. So after that, you know, it died down some for the night. Next morning, we're automatically on this man's mind. He wake up, he's calling us the F slur in the group chat messages and in our group chat on Snapchat that we have. And I'm just like, wow. Before you wake up, or before you get up and brush your teeth and wash your face and wash your ass, you over here calling us a slur. So honestly, as some time went on, we're still seeing that she's with him. And that's when a little bit of suspicion started to come in, because it's just like, wait, why are you still with him? Low key, high key. Why are you still with him after he just disrespected and threatened us? Mind you, the threats at the time were empty threats, but I don't care. I don't take that stuff lightly. I feel like any type of threat that is made towards you, you should absolutely take it seriously, whether you take that person seriously or not, because anything can happen and anybody is capable of anything. So, you know, for us to be your best friends, why are you still with a person who had the nerve to disrespect two women and threaten us? And we're supposed to be like this. Okay, so now we're going months down the road. Obviously, there's some things that go on in between when this started and where things are starting to like come to an end with that relationship. But it's mainly just a lot of ghosting because she had to. Unfortunately, that relationship turned abusive on his end. He would put his hands on her. At that time, he was not putting his hands on her. So that's why we felt a way that she didn't leave him at that moment, because as far as we knew, and it was confirmed later down the line by her, that he was not putting his hands on her at the time. So we were just confused as to why she even stayed with him, to be honest. She's already told us before all of this happened that she wasn't sexually attracted to him and all different types of stuff. Like, y'all, she was okay, like, she would come to us about the bad stuff she didn't like about him, and she was also low-key talking shit. Like, but you know, that was our best friend at the time. Like, we ain't finna come to him and be like, oh yeah, or oh yeah, Troll is saying this about you and that about you. Like, girl, we don't care about this man. Like, I don't care that you talking shit about him to us, but then at the same time, don't turn around and do something like this. Like, that's crazy. So, yeah, unfortunately, it turned into that. And because it did, as more time was going by, we heard less and less and less from her. And because of that, that made us really, really worry. Like, y'all, we were worried sick about this girl every single day. Like, not a day passed where we did not think about, like, her safety and how she was doing, if she was okay mentally and physically. Like, and for most of that time, we didn't even know that he was putting his hands on her. Like, we could only assume, but we had no proof until she told us. And then that made us extra hot. Because what do you mean you putting your hands on her? What? So when we did find that out, We were trying to get police involved. I don't care. Yes, we did. And I feel like anyone going through that situation, or anyone that is friends or family of someone in that situation, should try anything they can to help that person out of that situation, because no one wants to see their loved ones get hurt by someone else. Like, that's just that. So that was our reasoning behind trying to get law enforcement involved, but they weren't really much help for real. We went to them. By that time, I had already moved to the city that I live in now, and I can only be on the phone while my best friend went to them. So she gave them statements and stuff, and I told them my statements, and she told them about the messages, the group chat messages and stuff, and how she was scared to come out of her dorm. Like, she literally was, y'all. I also hated that from my best friend. Like, I personally feel like she got the worst end of this, outside of Tro being in the relationship. Like, whoever else being involved, I felt like she had the worst end of it between me and her. I'll say that, because no one had it worse than Tro as far as being in the relationship, because she was the one that was actually receiving the abuse. And I will never ever blame that on her, like, ever. I will never blame the abuse for what happened to them from their abuser, ever. I just want to put that out there. Disclaimer, okay? So, I say that because literally, again, they lived right next to each other, and she felt like every time she walked out her dorm, she had to look over her shoulder to make sure Froggy wasn't feeling jumpy. Like, that's just the facts. Like, I don't care what anybody else say. I don't care what Tro says. I don't care if Tro says she had no reason to feel scared. Yes, she did. Yes, she literally did. Like, she has no idea what y'all got going on in that dorm. She has no idea what conversations are being had. Like, we didn't know this man for real. Like, we really didn't know him for real. Like, we just knew his name and what he looked like. That's about it. We couldn't tell you this man's favorite color. We couldn't tell you his last name, his middle name. We couldn't, shoot, I don't even remember how old he was at the time, to be honest. Like, just being real. Like, that's how little of him that we knew of. So obviously she's gonna be nervous to step outside of her dorm, because we don't know who we're dealing with for real. So yeah, she gave them statements to the police. I told them about this specific call that I had with him this one day. I was trying to get her to come to my going away party. He wasn't having that. He was answering for her. I was talking back to him. I can put the receipts right here too. And he wasn't liking my mouth, basically. Like, he didn't like me more out of me and my best friend. Like, he hated me. That was what was actually told to me by Tro. And I think it was because of my mouth, but I don't give a damn. Oh well. It's not my fault that you're too to not handle a woman's mouth. Like, cry about it. Literally. I don't care. But yeah, he got really upset over that. Ended up calling my phone through her phone. Mind y'all, he didn't have his own phone or his own car. That's why he was using her phone and always up in her car. So he called me yelling, da. And I answered the phone laughing, because at this point, I'm finding this hilarious. I'm finding this man, like, I cannot take him serious anymore. Like, I just can't, because this is stupid. And literally throughout all the yelling, the only thing that I can make out him saying is, I will kill you. That's what he said. I will you. Okay? That's what he said. And I was like, okay. And after that, the phone just hung up. I didn't hang up on him. I literally, honestly, I was kind of hoping, or not hoping, I kind of wished that I recorded just to have evidence, just to have proof that that was said, but I didn't. So oh well. I told them that, and basically they're just like, you know, as far as the messages go, because they're pretty much like empty threats and nothing has happened, they can't really do much about it for real. And as far as what he said to me over the phone, because I have no proof, there's nothing they can do about that as well. And we were like, well, that's a bummer. Wow. And they my best friend was no. They basically told her that they could get him like kicked off the campus or whatever. And my best friend asked if that would get Tro in trouble. They told her yes, so we chose not to move forward with that because we were trying to like not put more pressure on her, if that makes sense, because she was still going through school, by the way. So we were trying to make sure that she didn't get in trouble. And now looking back, maybe we shouldn't have cared about that. If it would have meant him having to stay away from her off the campus, then maybe that should have been the way that we went about it, but we didn't. So then more months went on, like more time went on. And then there was this one night where the police was called, and Troll was just so convinced that it was my best friend that called the police. No, my best friend did not contact the police. I did not contact the police. The last time my best friend came in contact with the police is when I just told y'all, which was months before then. So even if they were there because of my best friend, they about a couple months too late. Like, what? So it wasn't either one of us that called the police. It was Scary that called the police and then put it on my best friend because he knew. So on his end, low-key, that's like a tactical like move, I guess, like a smart move in his head, because he knew that Troll would believe that it was my best friend. Like, it wasn't too far-fetched, basically. So she hit my best friend up with the thread of messages that I back then didn't appreciate and still now don't even appreciate. Like, how you gonna come at her without even asking questions? Like, you didn't even ask her if she called the police. You just went at her like, bro, why would you call the police? Like, bro, we only have 2 more days of school left. Like, I was just trying to get some sleep. You're adding more onto my plate, da 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 da. You're not making anything better, basically. And I'm just like, well, that's no way to come at your best friend now, is it? Okay. But I guess in her defense, you can maybe say that she was just under the stress of being with an abusive significant other and under the pressure of like school, going through finals and all of that stuff. But hey, that's what happened. So to wrap this part up, we're going to go ahead and jump into the end of this. Basically, she ended up being free from him for a little bit because she did end up calling the police on him, which is crazy. Well, not crazy, as she should have, but it's just like, you do that after police were already called to y'all, and you get mad at my best friend because you thought she did it. But now we're getting police involved again. Like, okay. So, yeah, she called the cops. They were on him, but he ran, and somehow, some way, y'all, I swear to this day, I do not know how this happened because, again, no car. And I don't know if he had got his own phone by then, but dude ended up in South Carolina. I don't know. Overnight, too. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. So he was there for, I don't even know how long he was there, but I ended up buying her a ticket for her to come see Megan with us because she was on her Hot Girl Summer Tour. Best night of my life. One of the best nights of my life. Just for after that, when he comes back for court dates that they have, she ends up meeting back up with him after we told her not to. We were so very adamant about telling her not to go meet up with that dude because if he put his hands on you before, he's definitely going to do it again. No doubt about it. So she ended up telling us like, oh, like for instance, today he didn't put his hands on me. What do you mean? To the girl, you shouldn't have even been with him. So that was a shock to us. We were like, girl, like, what are you doing? And she lied to us about what she did with him the day that she met up with him. Like, honestly, I don't want to make it seem like we're trying to have control over her because at the same time, she is a grown woman. She can make her own decisions. But it's just like, after the situation that she just got out of and she thinks it's okay to meet back up with him, obviously she's not making the best decisions for herself. And as us being her best friends, we felt the need to step up and try to guide her to stay out of these type of situations. So that's what we were doing. We told her not to meet up with him, and she told us that when she did, he apologized to her. They hugged, and she dropped him off at the police station. Already that sounds like a load of BS, but we believed it at the time until some time later, she's asking me how long do it take for a plan B not to work. At this time, I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's for one of her sneaky links. Because after she got free from him or whatever, she was having some people on the side. And girl, you do what it do. Do what you want to do, okay? I was hoping at least, you know, for that, I was hoping maybe it would be for one of them and not him. Like, I'd very much rather it be for one of them and not him. Like, genuinely. Having a baby by that man, diabolical. Because he wouldn't be a good father. I don't care. He wouldn't have been a great father, like, at all. So then there was another day, a separate day. She said, she asked me if she could cash at me to get a plan B for her or whatever, because she didn't want to have a baby by this man. And literally, when she said that, bro, y'all, I was like, there's no way. I was literally like, there's no way. Like, there's no way at all that I'm hearing this now. Like, y'all had intercourse? Y'all had intercourse? Why? Why? And girl, we go through all of that. Her reasoning for doing that, she told us she wanted to use her power, and we were still confused. We're like, for what? Like, what reason did you have to use that? And really, she didn't. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I can't remember the exact reasoning for her that she gave us for her doing that, for using that, but I remember thinking that it wasn't a good reason at all. Like, it wasn't a reason to begin with. Like, it just wasn't an answer for real. I was like, what? Are we so that serial? Are we okay? But again, I step back because I'm not trying to judge her. At this point, we're just trying to figure, like, we're discombobulated. We're confused. We're just trying to get our heads straight, our thoughts straight, and where to go from here. Then again, she goes ghost. And we thought he was in jail because she didn't give us this man's bail and everything. Like, he had a bail, apparently. I don't know how true that is, but he did, allegedly. That's what she told us. But yeah, she went ghost, and then it didn't take me long to connect the dots to notice that the reason that she went ghost again from everyone was having to do with it had something to do with him. So then in July, sometime around my birthday, he went off and hit 7 other cars and then totaled her car. And obviously he got the police on his trail after that. Like, who wouldn't? And eventually they got him, and then of course court dates come up. But after that news got to me, y'all, I was livid. Like, I was hot. And I think I'm gonna save that for the second part. I think this is where we're gonna start off in the second part, because this is already getting a bit too long. So with that being said, y'all, I hope y'all stay tuned in for the second part. And make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share. Get your girl out there. And I'm gonna see y'all in the second part. I'm literally finna record it like right now after I end this. Bye. Oh, shit, I didn't even give y'all the name. Oh wait, yes I did. You know what? Y'all, leave me alone, okay? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Don't even get in the comments playing with me, please. I'm sorry. So